do not own copyright for this copyrighted material, but under Section 107 United States Copyright Office, Copyright Act 1976, this video, the music and content it contains is for education and or entertainment purposes.
I just don't understand what's going on in our city.
Surveillance video shows a group of kids chasing behind a 73-year-old man, attacking him with a parking cone. One of the kids is seen recording it.
He's walked that path for 60, 70 years of his life, and for his life to be snuffed out like that is just unbelievable.
Tanya Stevens says the victim is her uncle, James Lambert Jr. It happened on the 2100 block of Cecil B. Moore in North Philly, near the YMCA and MLK Rec Center. It was after 2:30 in the morning on June 24th.
They couldn't have been any older than 14. How are you out at 2 o'clock in the morning?
Police say the suspects are 4 boys and 3 girls, believed to be between 13 and 17 years old, and that at least 2 of them participated in the attack, hitting a defenseless Lambert at least 3 times. Police say he fell to the ground, hitting his head, and died at the hospital the next day.
Where were the parents? You know, I realize people have to work and have to do what they have to do, but there should be some structure. Apparently, there isn't any.
Loved ones describe Lambert, who they call Simmie, as a family man who loves spending Thanksgiving and other holidays with them. Stevens says Lambert has 2 daughters and was also like a father to her. Seeing what happened to him makes her afraid.
Today, I walked my dog, and it was 3 kids, and I was just so terrified.
Her fiance says the families need to turn in the kids.
The parents should be held responsible for their kids. These kids are underage, they're juveniles. Man, where did they learn that type of stuff from? Right. To attack the elderly person walking down the street?
Hello, guys. Sorry about that. Looks like we got frozen here for a bit. Give me just a second.
I just don't understand what's going on in our city.
Hey guys, looks like we're having some technical issues. Not sure what that was about. But welcome to BuzzTweet Radio's True Crime Tuesday with your girl Kandis. Some of you may know me by my online username, Love and Sunrays. Others may be watching on my Twitch channel. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Today we're going to be talking about the tragic and heartbreaking murder of 73-year-old James Lambert Jr., affectionately known as Simmie. I did not know the man personally, but I'm choosing to call him Simmie. And I'll be calling him Mr. Lambert interchangeably throughout this video. This story is tragic. It's tragic on all levels. And it hit me hard because it felt so close to home. Because this could have been my father or my grandfather. And the suspects in this case are super young, which makes it even more heartbreaking. But I just want to give a heads up that the statements in this video are my own and not the opinions of BuzzTweet Radio. My statements are not meant to hurt any of the persons involved. I'm just gathering information that I found on the internet and sharing it for educational purposes. I was not able to find much information about Simmie's life, but from what I've read, he was a very loving man who enjoyed spending holidays with his family. He has 2 daughters who have not made public statements, but his niece, Tania Steffens, has spoken out publicly about how this incident has impacted her. And you just saw her in that news clip. But most people don't really know the full story of what happened that night. So I just felt the need to share it. That's why this is episode 1 of the True Crime Tuesday series. Let's get started. So at 9:15 p.m. on June 24, 2022, a 14-year-old boy, his 10-year-old brother, his cousin, and a teammate on their football team all left his house to have a sleepover at the cousin's house. But instead of going straight to his cousin's house, the 4 of them stopped at the Martin Luther King Jr. Recreation Center to play basketball. There at the rec center is where they met up with 3 girls who happened to be their classmates, and they played there all night long. 2 a.m., 73-year-old James Lambert Jr., affectionately known as Simmie, and a lifelong neighborhood resident, was sitting on a bench in the park area. Simmie simply told the kids that they shouldn't be out so late, and he was right, and he told them to go home. But in return, the kids started taunting Simmie. And we've seen this time and time again in the hood, so you know how it is. Conflicting accounts state that at this point, one of the girls slapped him, while another witness states the slap never happened. The girl did, however, throw a container of Chinese food at Simmie. Super disrespectful. Mr. Lambert yelled at the kids as things escalated and picked up an orange traffic cone, then threw it toward the kids to try to get them to leave him alone, which is understandable. Just before 2:30 a.m., Mr. Lambert tries to leave the park area and cross over to Cecil B. Moore Avenue near 21st Street. And that's when the unthinkable happens. Warning, this video is going to show images that you may find upsetting. So if you can't look away and just listen, okay? The surveillance video shows the boy, the 14-year-old boy, and 2 others, his 10-year-old brother and a 14-year-old girl, running after Simmie. The 14-year-old boy takes the traffic cone from the girl and throws it at Simmie. It hits him, and he falls on the sidewalk. Then the boy walks away, crossing the street and out of the camera's view, presumably to grab his bag that he is seen carrying throughout the rest of the video. All right, with Lambert still on the ground, the 14-year-old girl hits him with the cone again. Okay, she hits him with the cone again. Despite another little boy blocking the hit, okay, and trying to stop her from doing that, she hits him again. Another 13-year-old girl stands there covering her mouth, and she looks completely shocked. All right. The 10-year-old little boy, the brother of the 14-year-old boy, appears to be filming the whole incident with a phone that police say belonged to the 14-year-old girl who was hitting him with the cone. He is seen nervously jumping up and down and telling her to stop, according to witnesses. Simmie, who is gravely injured at this point, stands up, tries to walk away, but the 14-year-old girl retrieves the cone again, runs after him, and bashes him twice more with the cone. Simmie lays on the ground, bleeding heavily from his head. 3 other kids run to his side, and the 10-year-old hands the phone to a passerby to call for help. Surveillance of the kids gathering around the corner 20 minutes later shows the 14-year-old boy appearing to imitate Simmie getting struck with the cone. So I don't have that footage of them going around the corner, but it's just a little clip of it here. But apparently the 14-year-old boy, who you see there hitting him with the cone, okay, he, after the incident, is seen mocking the old man, which is just, disgusting. Simmie suffered head injuries and died in the hospital the next day. The cause of the death, blunt force trauma to the head. Days after the attack, the story went viral and the Philadelphia police started a citywide search to find the kids in the surveillance video. A $20,000 reward was offered. It took a while, but finally on Monday, July 11th, 4 of the children in the video turned themselves in and none of them were charged. On July 12th, the 14-year-old boy came forward. His name is Richard Jones. He was arrested and charged with murder and conspiracy. And though he is being charged as an adult, he is awaiting his preliminary hearing, which is scheduled for September 14th. So he is currently being held at the Philadelphia Juvenile Justice Center, and his bail has been set at $750,000. His 10-year-old brother also turned himself in that day, but he was released and he was not charged. His name has not been released to protect him because he's a minor. The next day, on July 13th, the 14-year-old girl who did most of the attack, her name is Gamara Mosley. She turned herself in. She was arrested and also charged with murder and conspiracy. She's also being charged as an adult, and she is also currently being held at the Philadelphia Juvenile Justice Service Center, and her bail has also been set at $750,000. You guys, I mean, I can't even express how disgusting this is and how sad and tragic it is. And when I first saw this video, I was like, these kids, they're so caught. I knew that they would be caught pretty quickly after the incident. But what I learned after they got caught really changed my mind and heart about these children. And we're going to discuss that first, but let me look and see what you guys are saying in the chat. My mom says, oh, she asked, okay, the rec was open at 2:00 in the morning. No, it wasn't open. So it was just they were on the basketball court playing around. So that's what happened. The rec wasn't open, but the court was, the basketball court was. And they were just out there hanging around. You know how we used to do, Mom? Hanging out late at night when we weren't supposed to be out there over at Rudolph Playground. That's what they were doing. Now, why they were out there till 2:00, I have no idea. The kids have no home training. I agree with that. And when you see the clip of one of the parents, you completely understand why they didn't have the guidance. Well, one of the kids, the little girl's mother, she stated that she had no idea that the girl had snuck out. She had never snuck out before. She actually has no idea about her child's behavior. She had no idea that her child would be involved in something like this. And why isn't the video showing anymore? Are you able to see the video? Oh, there we go. Okay. So I have to have it open in order for you guys to see it. Wow. Okay. So let me make sure here. Let me switch it up. Hold on, you guys. All the way to the footage. There we go. Ooh, y'all. Ooh, stop that one. No, I don't think they really intended to kill him, and we're going to talk about that in a second here. But I don't think they really meant to kill him or hurt him that badly. But it just goes to show you how misguided they were and the kind of environment they come from. And we're going to talk about that in a minute too. But let's look at this footage again real quick. It's going to repeat several times. Let's look at it. So, because I just told y'all what happened, but I'm going to go through it again. So this is them. That's the 14-year-old girl right there picking up the cone, hitting him again. Saw the little boy tried to block it. Look at them. They're all like, look, stop, you know, and she hits him again. Because if you just look at it at first, yeah, and I don't know why kids in troubled neighborhoods, like dangerous neighborhoods, do this for elderly people. I have no idea. But they were even doing it when I was growing up. I never did it, but I heard about kids beating up older people on the bus all the time. And I don't understand why they do this. I believe it's just easy targets. It gives them street credit. It gives them stripes or whatever. They seem tough, but they're targeting people who are defenseless and can't fight back. So I don't know how tough that really makes them. But for people that's ignorant, all the other ignorant little kids, they look tough. All this man did was simply tell them it's too late for them to be outside. And he was absolutely right, because this is like the second most dangerous place to live in Philadelphia. They have the second largest violent crime rate in the whole of Philadelphia. So he was absolutely right to tell these kids that he was only looking out for them by telling them to go home, and they decided to attack him. So you see there, the 14-year-old boy, he hit him with the cone, then ran across the street. That's presumably to get his bag that he was carrying later in the video. Then the girl grabs the cone, and you see that the other little boy with the bag tries to block that. And then she picks it up, hits him again, and off camera hits him again too, which is crazy. Here is when the kids rush to his aid, and they see that he's bleeding profusely. Someone hands over the phone to a stranger who calls 911. And you saw there the 14-year-old boy with the bag. There he is, walking away. All right. So yeah, this is crazy. This is crazy. But that's the way these kids grew up. They see this type of stuff all the time, every day in their neighborhood. I refuse to believe that all of these parents weren't aware that their kids were outside, though. I refuse to believe that they weren't aware that their children were out there. I mean, I could see one or two parents saying, hey, I didn't know my kids were out. The 14-year-old boy, his parents definitely knew he wasn't supposed to be home. So I can't blame them for not knowing that he wasn't there during this incident. They didn't know about this, and I believe them, because they expected him to be at his cousin's house. He was supposed to be having a sleepover at his cousin's house with his little brother and one of his teammates on the football team. So they thought he was there. But the other kids, I refuse to believe that their parents didn't know that they were out. And I know for a fact that kids that young are outside in the hood all the time at 2 or 3 in the morning. When we were living in Southeast, man, them kids used to be in Cascade Park all hours of the night. So yeah, you guys, that's the story. And that's not even all of it, but we're gonna take a little bit of a break here. We're gonna take an ad break. And when we come back, that's a good question. And we're gonna talk about that when we get back from our break. We're gonna see an apology from one of the parents in a second here and see what she had to say when we get back from our break, okay? Sorry, y'all.
Lately, I've been using my phone to earn some extra cash for groceries, for hair care products, for cleaning products. You heard me right. I used my cell phone to earn extra cash. How do you do that, B? I'm so glad you asked. Let me tell you how. I installed the ModeApp on my phone. This app is available in the Google Play Store as well as Apple Store. Once the app was installed, I set up my Mode account and started playing music from some of my favorite artists. It's amazing that I made money just by listening to my favorite songs. And you can do this anywhere, while out and about, while traveling, or even while you are working. Search and play music from over 100,000 radio stations. Earn Mode coins while playing music and games on your phone. Redeem for Amazon or PayPal cards. You can also redeem for Visa gift cards and more. I personally prefer to use PayPal, and I cash out about $40 a month. All I had to do was listen to music and they gave me money. You can do the same thing. Hey, you're going to be on your phone anyway. Might as well get paid for it. Install the ModeApp today. An installation link can be found in the description box below.
By a deadly and unthinkable tragedy are speaking out tonight. Good evening, I'm Dawn Timoney. It's been a top story all week long. Young teenagers charged as adults in the deadly beating of 73-year-old James Lambert. Two of those teens have been officially charged with murder. And the mother of one of those teens, 14-year-old Jamira Mosley, sat down with our Alex Hawley today. It is an interview you will only see here on Fox.
So all that stuff that's on social media about me and my child is not true. I'm not a bad mom.
I sat down for an exclusive interview with Shira, the mother of 14-year-old Jamira Mosley, charged with third-degree murder and conspiracy charges for the traffic cone beating death of James Lambert Jr. Jamira's grandmother and family attorney Lonnie Fish were also present. Much of the attack was caught on surveillance video.
What do you say to some people who've looked at that video and they say, how could a good kid be capable of something like that, beating a 73-year-old man with a traffic cone to his death?
It was the other kids and, bad influence. She probably didn't mean to do it.
The 73-year-old was walking along the 2100 block of Cecil B. Moore Avenue on June 24th when he was attacked just before 3 in the morning.
My daughter didn't take nothing like that. Never. Just like that going, it just, things been different. Because we ain't got that family no more like we used to have. I'm saying we used to be in the house and stuff like that as a family. My mom disabled, so I'm going through a lot, so she going through a lot.
Why was it important for you to talk to us and to...
Because I feel like that's my daughter and I care. And like I said, she wasn't with me. And it happened. She snuck out that night and snuck out that night and been with some bad friends.
So she never snuck out before?
No.
Well, Shira, do you have a message for James Lambert Jr.'s family?
I'm just Just want to give my condolence. We apologize. I'm really sorry it happened. I'm sorry as a parent. She's sorry. So I can say I'm just sorry.
Not a good shoe, not a bad kid.
Yep. You heard what she said. Her kid is not a bad kid. She didn't, she blamed the other children. She no accountability, no whatsoever. And that made me angry. That made me very angry when I looked it up. When I first saw it, but then it made me so angry that I started searching for the mother's criminal history. I want to know if this child's family was like my family is. A lot of criminals in it, a lot of people that went to prison and things like that. And I couldn't find anything on the mom. So while she may appear to be that type of person, she clearly is not. She did, however, mention she does look familiar, doesn't she? I found her Facebook. I looked around on her Facebook. I looked around her Instagram, everything. She's not associated with bad people. All the people she's associated with are spiritual people, nice, well-rounded people. I saw pictures of the little girl. And basically, even though she wasn't taking any accountability for it, and she did say sorry, and the sorry didn't, to me, sound genuine. She's basically right. These are technically good kids, but they've just been in a messed up situation. And just to get an idea of the kind of community these kids come from, they live in Northwest Philadelphia, and like I said before, it's the second highest violent crime. It has the second highest violent crime rate in the whole of Philadelphia. To get a bigger picture of what is going on, from July 31st to August 27th, there have been 672 crimes committed in their neighborhood alone, in their small neighborhood. So even after this crime they committed, 672 additional crimes have been committed in their neighborhood. And these kids grew up around this. So they are predisposed to this type of behavior, whether they normally engage in it or not. So I can believe that out of nowhere, these kids did something and made a huge mistake. You know what I mean? I can believe that. But again, I looked all over the internet for evidence that the two main suspects had a criminal history or history of bad behavior, and I couldn't find anything. Let me pull up a picture of Gamara really quick for those of y'all who didn't get to see her. You're right. Good kids don't hit elderly people, but as someone who grew up in that background, I know how easy it is to become influenced by other kids or what you see in the neighborhood. You know what I mean? And though I didn't go down that direction like other people do, a lot of my friends did. And it's really easy to get caught up in something and get in trouble overnight. It's real easy to get caught up in some stuff like that, even if you wouldn't normally do it, which I'm starting to believe. If you look at the video closely, you'll see most of the kids were not in agreement with this attack. They were shocked. They were like, stop. You know what I mean? They were, it's really hard to see it. But if you look at the clip over and over again, like I did, you will see that most of the kids did not want that elderly man to be hit that way. So, but yeah, you do have a point. Good kids don't do stuff like that, and they definitely deserve some sort of punishment. But how much of a severe of a punishment for all of them, I'm not sure. Let me hold on one second. I want to pull up a picture of the girl real quick so that y'all can get a closer look at her. Hold on. All right, let me look at my pictures. Oh, I can only share. Okay, well, you guys, hold on a second. But I looked all over the internet for evidence that the two main suspects had criminal history. Couldn't find nothing. Found the mother's Instagram and Facebook, which showed a lot of wholesome family photos of Gamara holding her younger sibling, playing with dolls and wearing costumes with her friends, which I'm about to pull up now. About to pull up the mother's Facebook. I'm gonna pull up her Instagram first, actually. It's still loading. My internet is moving so slow right now. Like, I wasn't having any of these issues before. But all of a sudden, I'm having issues. All right. Here we go. There we go. All right. Let me make my screen bigger. So this is the mother's account. She, taking the kids out to a place called Jump To It. Here's Gamara from when she was much younger, doing a dance video, probably for Twitch or something. For TikTok or something. There's the mom. Ooh, this is like one of her son's accounts here. Wow. Oh, wait, y'all. I've never seen this before. Oh, someone made a hate account. Ooh, they showed the social security number. Oh, no. Oh, no, y'all. Oh, this is exclusive now. I didn't see this before. This must be new. Or something, because I didn't see this before. Why are they showing her social security? Okay. You killed me. I was shot in the head and my chest. You killed me for what? You drove to our sister house to kill me. Why did you hype him up and you did not stop it? And you got in the car with him after he shot me 3 times. Why you killed me? You said I did not ride for you because you was half crack and you had robbed the gay lady in your... Okay, so that's another thing I saw is the mother being accused of smoking crack. I seen comments on her Instagram of people making fun of her saying she smoked crack. Wow, I got to look more into this. I don't know what's going on here. I think this is a picture of one of her sons. And I didn't know he was dead. Wow. These are her parents. The father is no longer living. There's Gamara. Now, that she's older. Wow. So she obviously had a conversation with this person. Shara Miles admitted to killing me, her own brother. Someone investigate. Oh, this is her brother. This is the mother's brother in these photos. Wow. You going to jail. You and Cliff set Jermaine up, and now you living with Cliff. Okay. Yep, I'm good over here. Of course, you the one who killed your brother. You a murderer. You don't care about how you killed your brother. Okay, you are a murderer. You killed. Yep, I'm going to kill you next. Coming for you. Me and Cliff. Sounds like she's being sarcastic there. I hope so. So I'm thinking that this is a girlfriend of the brother because she's making sexual comments at her and saying no more for you. And you die. Wow. Okay, so this is going down a whole different rabbit hole that don't have nothing to do with Simmie. So let me go back to what I was talking about. So on this one here, I think this is her son here. So I was looking and I noticed she put a lot of miss you son, free my son. So he's either in prison or he served time in prison. So this is what Gamara grew up around. She grew up around drugs and violence and crime. Okay. Doesn't mean that she was always that way. What it means is that she's predisposed to this behavior, and she was just bound to involve herself in something like this eventually, which is really sad. That's the saddest part to me. She put this here. Good morning. I'm so effing irked. MFers stole my money, still asking me for their money. WTF is wrong with people. And then a person said, girl, stop lying. You gave your card to the drug dealer for your crack. And this is like not the first time. Like I saw multiple people accusing her of being on crack, which she does speak as if she has some sort of speech impediment or disability, which aligns with drug use a lot of the time. But other than that, I saw a lot of wholesome photos of Gamara with her friends like this. Pictures of her playing with dolls on Facebook, costumes, Halloween and stuff like that. And it seems like Gamara, for the most part, was a pretty good kid up until this incident. That's what it seems like. I don't know everything, but so let me exit full screen real quick. All right. And come back. No sound. Okay. What comes around goes around. You can't do wrong by people and expect nothing to happen to you. So true. So true. That is so true. So I don't know what happened to my pictures of Gamara. I had pictures of her. I don't know where they went. But let's move on. Let's talk about the other suspect, whom I believe is in a worse predicament than her. In that he actually committed assault. I don't think he administered the fatal blow to Mr. Simmie, but he's still being charged with murder. And let me just put him up here real quick. Richard Jones. Okay. Richard Jones, Philadelphia. Images. So there he is. Is there a way to just expand this picture? Let me see. Open image in the tab. There we go. So there he is. Right? Looks like a bad kid, right? But this is a dream son, you guys. He is a freaking dream son, and it's so upsetting that he got into this predicament. So let me read to you what I found out about him, because I was like looking for some information on him too, and I found nothing but good things about this kid, which is so sad. It's so sad. He was a good student. He served the community, and he won an award for community service. He was also an athlete, and he was a counselor at the Martin Luther King Jr. Rec Center where they were playing basketball that night. So it's super sad when he'll be turning 15 on Monday. And instead of celebrating his birthday with his family and friends, he's going to be in prison. He's going to be in prison. His 10-year-old brother has been traumatized from this event. Learning that Simmie actually died from the attack traumatized his little brother. So, like I said, most of the children were not attacking Simmie. Only 2 of them were. Only Gamara and Richard were attacking him physically. And the rest of them appeared to be uncomfortable or shocked. Even though they were laughing, you could see that a lot of them were uncomfortable and shocked. Richard's lawyer says that the autopsy will be key in determining which blows contributed to Lambert's death. She believes that from reviewing the unredacted version of the surveillance video, which I could not find anywhere. I can't find it. I guess the police did not release that at all. But that when she says that when Richard throws the cone, it hit Simmie in the shoulder and it did not cause him to hit his head on the ground. So she said, I don't believe it was Richard throwing the cone that killed him. And when Gamara hit Simmie, Richard was across the street retrieving his bag, which she says could mean that he was not even really present when the fatal blow was delivered. And I have to agree with her. After watching the video multiple times, it's clear that he's guilty of assault. But Gamara is clearly the one who administered the fatal blow that ended Simmie's life. So I don't think it's fair for him to be charged with murder or sentenced for murder. Though no record is better than having a record at all or having a criminal history at all. I would hate for this little boy who had so much going for him to have his entire life ruined over this. I would really like for him to get another chance, though he wasn't involved, I would, give him some community service or something, because even though he was involved, he didn't hit that man upside his head. He didn't. He threw the cone at him, which was wrong, but he did not hit him upside his head. He did not cause the fatal injuries to this man. And I just hope that he can get some community service or something and have his life back, because this is just so sad for him, in my opinion. I would like for him to get another chance. But Simmie's niece, however, she disagrees. She wants all of the kids charged. She does not accept the apology that she heard from Gamara's mom. She reached out to Fox 29 to speak after seeing the 4 children turn themselves in. And she said, this is her quote, "I want everyone to be charged. Everyone. I don't want house arrest. They were all part of the crime, no matter if they actually threw a cone. They were there and everyone is guilty, even the parents, from the 10-year-old to the parents." Fox 29's Shawnette Wilson asked if Stephens thought all of them should be charged with murder. Murder for the ones that actually physically assaulted him, yes, but charges for the ones that were there, aiding and abetting. She said there must be consequences, but with rehabilitation. If they let them out, they're going to just do this to someone else's family. They need professional help. They need counseling. They need mentorship. So what do you guys think? Do you think all of the children should be charged? Do you think that the parents should also be held criminally responsible? Should Richard be charged with murder? Drop a comment below if you're watching this recording. Drop a comment below and let me know what you think about this. And for all the people who are watching live with me right now, what do you think? Like, I don't know. I think the parents maybe should get some neglect if they, I think maybe Gamara's mom should get a neglect thing filed against her, because you have to keep up with your kids, and if they get caught up committing crime because you weren't watching them, you should be held responsible for that. Definitely. Yep, Simmie probably wouldn't even want them locked up. That's true. He probably wouldn't even want them in jail. He was trying to protect them in the first place, which is crazy. All he was doing was telling them to go home. That's all he was trying to say. But the family, they're outraged. They want justice, and they want everybody to be held accountable. I really wish that this boy here could just get some community service or something, because, he didn't go too far. He didn't go that far. And I don't think he should be called a murderer. I don't think he's a murderer. What he did was very wrong, but he's not a murderer. And I believe, if he's the good kid that his resume shows him to be, then this whole getting caught and being publicly shamed this way is probably punishment enough for him at this point. And I'm pretty sure he will never, ever make this mistake again, ever. That little girl snuck out before too. I believe that too. Or maybe that was the story that the mom put together to cover her tail. Don't know why these kids were out at 2 a.m. Investigate the parents. Yes. So I know why he was out. But even still, you make a valid point. He was supposed to be at his cousin's house, who's there in the video as well. Where were his cousin's parents? They were expecting them around 9-something. They were expecting all 4 boys to go to the cousin's house around 9-something. They didn't show up. Where were y'all? Why weren't y'all out there looking for them? You know, so you do make a valid point. They need to investigate the parents. There's some form of neglect going on here. And I do think the parents should be held accountable for neglect. But this little boy here, I don't think he should be going down for murder. I really don't. Gamara clearly attacked, really hit the man hard with that cone. And she administered the fatal blow that ended his life. But I know some people are going to disagree with that. So, like I said, go ahead and comment below and let me know what you think regarding that. Let me pull up the family here. So there's the niece. There's his niece, Tania, fighting for, and that picture here that you see on her shirt is actually a drawing of Simmie. One of the officers drew that picture of him to get a better photo of him because a lot of the photos that they have were poor quality. I thought that was very sweet of one of the police to put together that photo for him. And they're fighting for justice for him because they don't think it's enough. They don't think what's happening so far is enough. The preliminary hearing for both of the suspects, murder suspects, is scheduled for the 15th. And we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. But I'm thinking that the little boy's charges are either going to be reduced or the murder charge is going to be dropped. Maybe he'll keep the conspiracy charge, but the murder charge is probably going to be dropped because once they look at that autopsy and realize, hey, all of his injuries were on the head and he did not hit him in the head. He threw the cone at him, which bumped him and knocked him over a little. That's all that little boy did. And it's wrong. I know it's a lot. I mean, it's no small thing what he did, but he did not kill this man. He didn't kill him. And that's just sad. It's just sad. All around sad. Yep. So I just wanted to share this story with y'all. Next week, I swear I'm not going to have one technical issue. I'm going to make sure of it, that I don't have any technical issues. But this was great. I hope that this sheds some light on that situation for y'all. And I hope it makes you take a different look at these kids. Because they're not all bad and they're not all villains. And the little ones, the smaller ones in this have been traumatized, and we should be praying for them. And we really should be praying for all of them because Gamara's life is through. She's not going to have any life. Her life is over. Hi, DJP. Thank you, Mom. I tried. I had a lot of technical issues, but I tried. Next week will be better for sure. Next week is going to be an even longer one because this one didn't really have a lot of information. I couldn't find anything. I really wanted to find a lot of information on Mr. Lambert and shed more light on who he was as a person, but I couldn't find anything. So hopefully some information comes out about him in the future and I can do an update. I know I'm definitely going to be updating this once the preliminary hearing is over and once they're sentenced. Then I will be doing an update on this story. But yeah, it was just crazy. This story really had tears streaming down my eyes because my father had just was in the hospital. Well, he still is in a nursing home right now, helpless and defenseless. And it just hit home for me in that regard because my father is in such a situation. He wasn't attacked or anything, but I just can't imagine, what Mr. Lambert's family must be going through. It's a very hurtful thing. And yeah, the man was old and, probably didn't have much longer to live anyway, but this is a horrible way to go out. Right by Martin Luther King Recreation Center with a hero's name on it. The kids that he fought for were beating one of their elders who probably fought along with Martin Luther King or witnessed the plight of Martin Luther King. And he sat there and he was murdered by the very kids that man fought for. So it's just it's so sad. It's so sad. But that's all, you guys. I'm not going to hold you much longer. Thank you to everybody who viewed this, even the ones in the bushes that ain't saying nothing. Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe to the BuzzTweet Radio official page. The link is in the description. And I will, no home training. I will see you guys next week. All righty. Be blessed. Have a great week. Don't let anything get you down. Love you guys.
BuzzTweet Radio. You're listening to BuzzTweet Radio.